Ever felt like you're a rat in a cage on a hamster wheel, repeating the same patterns, getting the same results over and over again? You're not alone. In today's episode on the One Person Podcast, we're going to delve deep into the universal struggle of confronting our inner demons to unlock our true potential. We're going to look at the profound impact of unconscious fears and doubts on our journey towards creating a life we love. So, with that in mind, stay tuned. If there was a guarantee that you could create your dream life, a life that truly mattered to you, would you want it? My name is Terriane Palmer-Peacock, and I'm delighted to welcome you to the One Person Podcast. I have a belief that one person can make a difference in the world. That person is you. It's me. When we show up as the best version of ourselves, when we create and live our dream lives, we make a positive impact on ourselves and those around us. So if simple, actionable, step-by-step strategies, tools and tips on how to do that inspires you, then you are in the right place, my friend. So let's get started. I woke up at 4:27 a.m. this morning. So at 5 a.m. I decided it was time to go for a run. Now it was still dark outside, but I don't know about you, but there's something magical about that time of day, just before the sun comes up. Now I popped my earpods in my ears and I hit play, and this is what I heard. We are all haunted by demons, whether consciously or unconsciously. And until we face our demons, they will keep chasing us in the opposite direction to our true life path, forever denying us the fulfillment born of being who we really are and creating what really matters to us. Like, sheesh, how's that for two sentences to kick your day off? Now, let me tell you, running is not my favourite form of exercise. I am not a runner. I am a plodder who feels every step through every part of my body, and at no stage does running feel easy for me. I do it because it's the quickest way for me to get exercise in and get my lungs working using different muscles for paddling. So for me, when it comes to exercise, it's all about the goals, right? Anyway, after hearing those two sentences, I thought, oh God, sometimes I wish I was ignorant. I wish I was uneducated, and there are certainly times when I wish I had never ventured down this personal development path and was blissfully unaware of everything around me. Now, maybe, just maybe, if that was the case, life could be a little easier. Now, I know I've had this conversation with friends, so I know I'm not the only one who feels like this if you've been in this industry for a while. Now, here's the thing. I also know it's just my ego speaking to me. In fact, it's my ego having a major 2-year-old tantrum. So even though I do have a lot of knowledge and dare I say a little bit of wisdom, I too are not immune to egoic-driven tantrums. I also know right now I'm in an oscillating structure focusing on a negative vision. Now how's that for industry jargon in one sentence? So let me unpack that for you. A negative vision is when you have a problem and you think of the opposite outcome to the problem and make that your goal. So in other words, you create a vision around it and pretend it's your heart's true desires, or at least your ego does. For example, money. Everyone can relate to stories of money. So let's say it's I don't have enough money. That's the problem. So you create a vision or end goal of having $10,000, $100,000 or $1 million in the bank, or maybe earning, let's say, $250,000 a year. Now, the universal law of polarity comes into play here. The law of polarity states that everything in the universe has an opposite that is equal and opposite. For example, there's no hot without cold. I mean, how do you know if something is hot if you have no reference of what cold feels like? There's no night without day. There's a contrast that is equal and opposite. Think up, down, back, front, inside, outside, good, bad. These are all opposites of the same thing. Now, I like to think of it like a coin. There are two sides to a coin, heads and tails, yet it's still just one coin. Now, whether you're looking at the head side or the tail side, it still doesn't matter. It's still just one coin. So a negative vision works the same way. On one side is the problem, and on the other side is the opposite of the problem. Now let's use money as an example again of what this might look like in real life. So let's say you're struggling financially. In fact, I know there's a few people out there who are in that position right now. So let's say you're currently broke. So you decide you need $10,000 per month to not be broke anymore. So you create a goal of earning $10,000 per month. Now you pop that in your SMART goal formula and you come out with a statement like, it is now June the 30th and I'm looking at my bank statement. It feels so good to have earned $10,000 in income. Now that vision fixes the problem. Or does it? You see, you identified a problem, you created a specific goal to fix the problem, then you dreamt up a vision of what the 10K income would look like. You've stepped into the emotions of earning 10K per month, you feel how good it feels to achieve this vision, and I'm here to tell you that's a negative vision. It's still a negative vision, no matter how much energy you put into it. Because on one side of the coin is broke, the other side of the coin is $10,000. You're running away from the problem. You're creating a vision, a negative vision, that's in fact running away from the problem that you have. Because at the end of the day, problem is on one side of the coin, your vision is on the other side. It's the same coin. It's still the same energy frequency or the same vibration. The truth is you're not really going for the 10K. You're running away from feeling broke. Now, if you've done the dance of feeling broke before in your life and then earning money and then finding yourself broke again and then earning money again and repeating the pattern over and over again, and by the way, it may not be money, it might be relationships. You might find yourself in a loving, harmonious relationship, then it's toxic and you're always fighting, and then it's harmonious and then you're fighting again. Well, this is the same thing, two sides of the same coin. Or maybe it's a person you have a conflict at work with, so you get a new job and before you know it, there's the same energy and same pattern playing out with someone new at your job. The common denominator is you. What you resist will always persist as aggressively as you resist it. So what's the answer? Well, 3 words. Let it go. Stop feeding that frequency level. The answer you're looking for is in a higher creative level frequency. So think about this. When a musician writes a song, they write or record it for the sake of creating music. They don't write it with the intention of becoming famous or making squillions of money. Those are the bonuses that come as a result of creating something magnificent, something that they love. When a painter paints a picture, they're in full creation mode. They have a vision of what they want to create and then they let go and allow themselves to be guided to the end result. They go into what's called a higher level creative frequency because that's the place where your genius resides and that's the place where all magic occurs. So what you need to do is let go of the problem, let go of the negative vision and think about what you would like to create instead, not focusing on the problem. Someone who focuses on creating a business that solves a specific problem, doing something they love, is more likely to be financially successful than someone who is always focusing on earning or needing $10,000 per month, for example. So I want to just touch back on this. So my ego's having a 2-year-old tantrum, right? And I'm not sure what to do about it. I know I'm in my negative vision, and I know I need to get to a high level frequency. And I know to do that, I need to let go of where I am, of what my current circumstances are, my beliefs, everything that's filling my mind right now. I know I need to do all of that, but I'm not doing it. And that's what friends are for. So last week I had 3 coffee dates with friends who gave me the courage to stand up against my demons. So the question that I have for you is, who do you have in your life who can give you that respite when you need it? They give you, that look or one word, or they touch you on the shoulder. And that's all you need to calm the chaos inside your head. So who's that person who lets you know you are powerful? One of my close friends had a birthday lunch last week, and when I dropped her back to her house, we sat in the car, and for some reason, words just started tumbling out of my mouth about how I was feeling. And she simply turned to me, she was getting out of the car, and said, "Oh, Terriane, you're a strong woman. You know that. You're super strong in the things you do." And in that moment, she was my one person. She reminded me of what I already knew was true, and her words were enough for me to take my power back, own my genius and my skills and abilities. That was Friday. By Saturday, I'd built 4 pages of a brand new website on a platform I'd never worked on before and launched this podcast, including uploading it to all the major podcast directories, which I'd never done before. Damn right I'm strong, and so are you. If you're listening right now, what do you need to hear from me to get going? Is it that you are incredibly talented? Is it you have a voice and people are waiting to hear from you? Is it you are in control and the power is within you? Or is it simply, you can do this, you've got this? Whatever it is, it's here for you right now. 2 years ago, I joined an incredible charity event here on the Gold Coast for the Men of Business, or the Mob Academy. Now, the Mob Academy is a school for boys or young men who fall through the cracks in our standard schooling system. Now, the school is built around mentors, and it's a place where they can come and belong to something that is bigger than them. They get an education, they get fed every day, because not all of the boys had access to 3 meals a day previously, which, quite frankly, that's just heartbreaking, especially here in Australia. Now, one of the problems that they identified was the boys were learning trades and getting apprentices in their final year, but they needed their driver's licenses, and not all of them were able to either get a car to be able to get those hours up to get their driver's licenses, or they just didn't have the resources to be able to make it happen. So Mob decided to fundraise to get a full-time driving instructor and vehicle in the school, so all the boys would finish or graduate with their driver's license. Now, for me, that is such a great initiative, and I know for those young men, it was life-changing. So when I found out about that charity, I was all in. Now, at the time, I had a back issue or inflamed disc, and my training was slightly compromised. And a few weeks before the event, my trainer advised me that she didn't think I should do it and gave me all the reasons why I wouldn't survive the 100 Ks or 12 hours of non-stop paddling. Now, that conversation did plant seeds of doubt as to whether I could complete the paddle at all. Now, a few days later, I went to see my physio, Brad, and I asked him what he thought about my ability to complete the 100K. His answer? Heck yes. Your back will need management, but you can absolutely do this. And you know what? I'd like to contribute as well, so how about I give you 2 free tune-up sessions just before you do the paddle to make sure you're in the best shape possible. In that moment, he was my one person. I left that physio appointment, I rang my trainer, and I said, whilst I appreciate your concerns, I'm doing this event, so either get on the 100K train with us or feel free to get off at any time. And I completed that 100Ks in just over 12 hours, and my body felt fabulous at the end. A little sore and a little tired from no sleep, and 100Ks of paddling, of course, but I was all good. All I needed was that one person, and I got it. So today, the question that I have for you is, what do you want to create? Actually, let me reword it. What would you love to create today? And I want to give you permission today to go and do it, to start it, to take that next step today towards something in your life that you would love to create. It doesn't matter how big or small, you just need to move forward on it. So decide what you want, create a heartfelt vision and pack it with loads of emotion. Find the love. Use that as a driver and connect to it. And remember, let go of everything else. Make sure you're not trying to solve a problem. You're actually asking and tapping into that heart of hearts on what you would love to create for no other reason than you would love to see it exist. And then allow yourself to rise up to a higher frequency than when you are now. Let go of needing to know everything and allow your genius or superconscious to speak to you. The next step is then just listen to the messages it sends you and then act on them, because that's where the magic is, and that's how miracles occur. So I hope you loved this episode. I hope you found it valuable. Thanks again for hanging out with me, and if you'd be so kind to share this episode with someone you know would find it valuable as well, I would love it. And if you love this podcast, please leave me a review. I do read all of them, and I'd love to hear from you. And remember, you can also get the show notes and more tools and tricks from terrianepalmer.biz/podcast.